Hey you, welcome back. If you're new, my name is Yubi. I use she, they pronouns, and this is You Becoming a Spiritual Journey. In 2020, I experienced what many people call a spiritual awakening, and I had no idea what to expect. In search for answers, I realized no one had documented the behind-the-scenes process of this unknown process. Without giving it a second thought, my friend helped me purchase a camera and create this channel to show people what the healing process looks like when you're determined to get to the other side. The more I recorded, the more comfortable I got speaking up, but mostly I got comfortable speaking my truth. After many tears, heartbreaks, and breakthroughs, I can confidently say this journey has been worth it. Get ready to get triggered as you watch my transformation unfold. This daily video journey is nothing fancy, nothing professional, just real, unedited, secret experiences unleashed for the world to see. All I ask is for you to keep an open mind, listen, observe, and take notes, because as I go through this process, I leave behind breadcrumbs to help you with your healing journey. Are you ready for what's next? It's still October 12th. I don't know if I'm going to post this again, another one. It's more of just my personal awareness with just trying to put the puzzle pieces together. And not that it really mattered. Well, no, I guess it does, because initially I had disregarded it. I didn't see it as another pattern. I think that's why I want to highlight it so I don't forget. This pattern of threes, and even looking at the first three people in my life, and how the fire sign that I met at the market, I thought he was just a blip. Like, it didn't dawn on me that he was part of the pattern. So it got triggered because I was just, I'm not listening to a lot of the tarot readings. I know I go in and out of it, but more so now, again, because I have my own little, right? And I really don't need it. Like, it's potential energy. It's, like, I've gotten where I've gotten to. I've listened to enough of it to get the guidance that I need, to where I created my own guidance, and I'm good. But I think that there's still just something soothing about it, to listen to the people that I listened to before. And I think it goes back to the whole, like, 'cause I don't have friends. I mean, I do, but I don't. And I spend most of my time indoors and to myself. So, it's like if you were to listen to a podcast. And so it's like the voice, right? The voices that you hear that are familiar. And because a lot of these voices were voices that I've been listening to more often than not, consistently through this journey, it's just reassuring and it's soothing. I think it's just really for that purpose. So, yeah. So one of them that I hadn't listened to in a long time was Baba Jolie. And so she mentioned something that I was like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. The pattern of threes. And just, again, I think, and it could be also just because the connection to the threes, I think, is coming up at some point. It's coming up at some point within the next couple months. And so the three parts of me, right? The three guys were all parts of me. Right? Head, body, heart. And then after heart, that was the first fire sign. And interestingly enough, it's like fire. the first fire sign. When I was interacting with him and I was getting emotionally triggered by him, a lot of the emotional triggering was related to the guy who I had the affair with. So it was definitely more physical. What was being triggered within me, the emotional triggering. This last fire sign, the artist, during the time period that we were connecting, I was getting a lot more triggered by my ex. I was getting a lot more triggered by my ex with him. It just so happened that a lot of the things that were happening with my ex, that were, it was more triggering. It was more triggering with my ex. Like, stuff with my ex was coming up, and then this fire sign was like, I was just like, well, why am I getting triggered by you? Like, this is something, and there was that familiarity of like, I've had to deal with this before, right? There was that feeling of like, I'm dealing with this before, and it's slightly different. Yeah. And it was similar to with my ex, like the forgetfulness was similar patterns. Yeah, like the first fire sign with the person who I had an affair with, very similar in terms of their what was being triggered within me, even the flow of the conversation reminded me of this person that I had an affair with, where we were able to talk about sex and able to talk. It was just a different type of conversation, and how physically active he was, and very much into his gadgets and high-tech stuff, and it just reminded me of the person that I had an affair with. And this last fire sign, it was like there was triggering, but there was also this like leveling up almost, like, yeah. Because with the first fire sign, there wasn't like the physical attractiveness to the same degree. I mean, was he attractive physically? Yes. But it wasn't evoked within me like this last fire sign. But I also took it a little further with this last fire sign. There was more of the closeness, if you can call it that, physical proximity was different. There was ease in our conversation. Also, it really felt like an upgrade. Like there was more. It was just more balanced. I remember thinking that he was more balanced than what I've experienced before. But they were still triggering. And a lot of the triggering had to do with my ex, because I even remember telling him I was just triggered, and he even said, I'd probably remind you by your ex. But he started like, putting himself down. I was like, no, like, that's just what happens, right? We trigger one another. And I was still needing healing regarding that. So anyways, it just got me thinking of like, well, that was number 2. Number 3. What is that gonna look like? I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, I know it'll be an upgrade for sure, because that's what it kept feeling like. Like it just keeps upgrading. And I know I'm not gonna settle, so and being more mindful of my boundaries. Yeah. I don't know. I wanted to highlight that for myself. To not forget that there's another subset of 3s. Don't forget. That's all.
Hey you,
Thanks for watching. Check out the description box under each episode below for additional thoughts and helpful links like my website, www.yubicominghealed.com, where I've gathered what I've learned and created self-paced online courses for you to access to help you get started on your healing journey. Oh, by the way, did I mention that I have over 20 years of experience in education and mental health? Rest assured, these videos are from my past and I'm living on a different timeline. I also offer sessions to answer your questions regarding the courses I've created or to help you figure out your next steps. You can also find me on Instagram and creating side projects like podcast shorts and more on my other YouTube channel that is still a work in progress, but aren't we all? It's titled You Becoming Healed. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share the content if you found this piece of my journey helpful or just to show emotional support for someone who has chosen to live a transparent life that is never ending and always becoming. Until next time.